I get it, you're staring at a dozen sewing machines on the screen, and the idea of spending a few $100s on something that ends up gathering dust is nerve-wracking. You've probably tried a few beginner models, maybe even a mid-range one that promised more features, but still left you wondering why the buttonholes look uneven or why the fabric keeps slipping. That hesitation is exactly why I'm breaking down the Janome Memorycraft Horizon 8200 QCP Special Edition, so you can decide if it's the right fit for the projects you actually want to finish, not just the ones you hope to start. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about what makes this machine different from the typical home sewing setup. Janome has taken the usual 1,000 stitches per minute claim and paired it with a really spacious 11 by 4.7-inch work area, which is basically the size of a small tabletop. If you've ever tried to quilt a large blanket or sew a garment with a full-size skirt, you know how quickly you hit the edge of a 6-inch workspace and have to constantly readjust. The Horizon's larger platform means you can lay out a full-width piece of fabric without constantly fighting the machine's boundaries, and the 5 ultra-bright LEDs that line the top keep the stitching area clearly illuminated even when you're working late or in a dimly lit room. The next thing people often overlook is how the feeding system works. Janome's AcuFeed Flex is a detachable mechanism that lets you switch between a standard feed for woven fabrics and a specialized roller for knits, jerseys, and stretchy materials. In real-world terms, that means you can slide a delicate silk chiffon into the needle area, switch to the Flex feed, and the machine will gently pull the fabric without stretching or puckering. Conversely, when you move to a heavy denim or canvas, you just snap on the sturdier feed rollers and you've got a grip that won't let the material bunch up. I've seen this flexibility make a huge difference for hobbyists who dabble in both fashion sewing and home decor. Now, the stitch library. With 170 built-in stitches including 3 alphabet styles and 10 one-step buttonhole options, you have enough variety to personalize everything from a simple tote bag to a complex embroidered quilt border. The one-step buttonholes are a particular time saver. You set the buttonhole size, press start, and the machine automatically creates a perfectly sized, evenly spaced hole with matching stitching. For anyone who's ever tried to hand sew buttonholes and ended up with a crooked result, this feature alone can justify the price tag. Speed is another headline that catches the eye. 1,000 stitches per minute sounds impressive, but what does it mean for daily use? If you're a quilting enthusiast, that pace cuts down the time you spend on straight seams dramatically. However, if you're more of a slow and steady sewer who likes to pause and check tension, you can dial the speed down to a comfortable level with the foot pedal. The machine isn't a race car. It's more like a sports sedan that lets you choose between cruising and sprinting, which is a practical compromise for a machine that's marketed toward both serious hobbyists and small shop owners. What about the touchscreen? The high-resolution LCD replaces the old-school dial and button layout, giving you a visual preview of stitch patterns, font selections, and even a quick way to adjust thread tension or needle position. In practice, the interface feels like a tablet you'd use for recipes, but it's dedicated to sewing. When you scroll through the stitch list, you get a thumbnail preview that saves you the guesswork of what does this stitch look like in real life. The only downside is that, like any touchscreen, you'll have to keep your hands dry and occasionally wipe away lint, something I've seen cause hiccups on a few machines with similar interfaces. Let's talk money. The Janome Horizon 8200 QCP Special Edition comes with an exclusive bundle that includes extra presser feet, a set of bobbins, and a few starter accessories that you'd otherwise have to purchase separately. If you're starting from scratch, that bundle alone can shave off $100 or more from the total cost of building a comparable setup piece by piece. On the flip side, if you already own most of those accessories, the bundle may feel less valuable, and you might be paying extra for items you won't use. So, who should press the Add to Cart button? If you're an intermediate sewer who's outgrown a basic machine, need a larger work surface for quilts, garments, or home textile projects, and appreciate the convenience of built-in buttonholes and a robust stitch library, this Janome is a solid upgrade. It's also a good fit for small business owners who need speed without sacrificing stitch quality. Think of someone making custom tote bags or a boutique that produces limited-run apparel. The detachable feed system will let you switch between fabric types without buying a second machine, and the bright LEDs and big workspace make long work sessions less frustrating. Who might want to skip it? If you're a